From 146s to 137s, spins, offs, and all the good stuff, this is how I went from sim to reality. First of all, had to get to the track. Now I live on the East Coast and this was at Portland, so had to take a flight across the country. So finally, after traveling for 9 hours, because we had to stop over in Las Vegas, we got to our hotel. That one, to be precise. And then we went to bed. Friday morning, the track opens at 7. At 7:15, we're there, meeting team owners, fellow drivers, and the cars. This is Mia, which I will not be driving. This is Kachow, which I will be driving. Isn't it cute? So let me introduce you to my teammates. This is Josh. He is an instructor for the American Audi Club and has a ton of track day experience, but this was his first time in a wheel-to-wheel racing situation. This is Angelo. He races Spec Miata in the Pacific Northwest here at PIR and at Pacific and Oregon Raceway Park. He was very fast. He was pretty cool. This is Dmitro. He is Ukrainian. He moved to the US. He also has a lot of track day experience, but this was also his first time actually racing. And then there's me. I'm just like here. But I was having a good time, and I didn't break the car, so it's all good. And now on to practice. Part of the video is going to be using onboards from when Josh was in the car. I'm going to have this video linked down below. Going into this weekend, I had probably done about 1,000 laps of Portland in a Miata in Live for Speed, but that does not prepare you for this. Now, did I know the track? Did I know the car? I knew how it would feel. But there is a very distinct difference between in sim and on track. Now, I have a Logitech G920. It's a very beginner sim wheel. And this car, Kachow, does not have power steering. So I went from having about 3 Newton meters of force to the entire weight of the car running through my arms. And not only that, I also had ABS in sim, which this car doesn't have. And to further compound the stuff that I was just not used to, this is a 5-speed manual in H pattern, and in sim I was using flat paddles on the back of the wheel. So I had to get used to all of that in the track time I had on Friday, basically. What I'm about to show you is a recreation of a couple of the silly gaps that I had during Friday practice, and I'll give some explanation while I'm showing you them. So coming down the back straight, going into the chicane, which I actually surprisingly never had an issue at. This was when I was still getting used to not having power steering, having to turn the wheel and all that. Basically, go into turn 12, and I just didn't turn the wheel enough. And this next incident is truly a Portland classic. The festival chicane and the braking zone. Coming down into the corner, I lose focus for just a split second, completely blow my braking marker, and just kind of run straight across the chicane. Didn't lock up a tire, but did just completely miss turning and braking and everything, which was a bit embarrassing to say the least. But aside from those two, and the very silly 2 off at turn 6, which is about to come up, it's the left-hander next video, which I simply cannot recreate in Live for Speed. I ran consistently. I wasn't running fast, I'll tell you that, but I was running consistently. I was running about 146 for about 20 laps in a row during my first practice stint. Car's a little bit misleading. This is just my second time in the car practicing going all day. We had put new tires on for this stint, and that coupled with my previous time on track, I felt significantly more ready to just push the car, and so I did. My personal best lap time in the first session had been 144.2. My best lap in this second session was a 140.96, and I dropped my average by over 5 seconds. A lot of this, I believe, had to do with my sim preparation, because coming into the track, I knew generally where I needed to brake, where I needed to turn in, what corners were difficult. But there's things that it doesn't tell you. Like right here in turn 7, there's so much more camber and it's so much wider than it can possibly feel in sim, because you just have the visual greenery around to know. But another thing about the sim, the version I was using was based off the Formula E circuit, which uses metric, which means I had to convert every single braking marker I had to imperial, because that's what the braking boards are here, 400, 300, whatever, that you can see on the right here. And that was something that I did surprisingly easily. But all in all, this practice session and just the extra track time I got through this day was invaluable for my weekend. Qualifying is 40 minutes total, split into 2 sessions. The first session is A and the fast half of B class. Second is the slow half of B and C class. Class can be changed during qualifying and in the middle of the race. It's very weird. I was originally supposed to do part of qualifying, but because it got split into those 2 sessions, we didn't have enough time to do a full driver swap. We weren't really trying, so we didn't qualify very well. We started pretty much in the middle of the pack. Now C class was about 30 cars, we qualified about 10th in class, so we'd be starting 40th overall in a 60-something car field.